Transient homes. In caves hewn by a withdrawn sea, traces of shells. Stone set, the spread wings of mussels, relics of once. Floor marble, pale oysters glint through dirt, seams of light. Cave pearls, strewn pebbles of sand buried, dust to dust. Tide left, a skeletal seal, salt sculpture, apse of other worlds. Weatherfront. Black burdened clouds weigh down the sky. Crippled with rain, they pour light stilts. Incoming sea fret, a pall over fields. Salt-laden mist wets grass, coats gorse. Estuary to cave, the land falls dark. Decay chain. Weather works at the high place. Water and wind, ice and thaw, seasonal labourers. Tunnels collapse to talus, making way for sky, leaving behind cavities. Steepening the scarp, making way for hollows, void begets void. Rain gauge. The cave's mouth across the pass. Looks like rain. Things we leave behind. We are within the caves, fragments of bone, nests of hair, offerings of teeth. We buried within the caves, tools of labour and vanity, axe, whetstone, bone comb. We lived within the caves, briefly, night watching, food and sleep fitful. Dampened fires filled the caves with absence when we left, cavernous within us, ribs, throats, loneliness. A burrowing. In the dearth light of a cave, a wolf leaves her clutch of whelps at sleep, pelt to pelt in a cleft of rock. On the track of prey she furthers downland, over riven ground to the moonshade of woods, sleeping place of deer. Drawn to blood metal and betraying sounds of slumber, she comes upon a mother and baby encradled, their moss bed allowing the wolf a hushed approach. Only the brittle spines of deadfall sound underfoot. A hinting breath of wind stirs the new mother's unbraided hair as her baby is taken from her weary hold by his nape. The wolf bounds caveward with its tender burden clamped. Her dew claws smarting on nettles and milk thistle, she brings the baby up to her own to be raised in another darkness. Dark school. In the teacher's cave, eyes open to the dark. Time is redundant without shadow to mark it. To learn is to cup a hand over ear and recall the sea. To learn is to note the low moans of lambing, the beat of crows homeward, the winter silenced bees. To learn is to cover nettle sting with dock, wound with cobweb. To speak is to hear the bounds of your echo, to make your way there and sink a palm into the weakness of limestone. Menagerie. Encaged beneath the hollowed grottos, in strata of clay and wind-blown silt, a fractured skull. Encased in limestone and the decay of others, in layered veins of parched rivers, a stilled wing. Entombed in the hill, wounded and crouched, hare, stoat, goose, frog, bear, horse and dog await unburial. Vigilant hands will unearth them with gentle brushstrokes, spading a cautious passage to their barrows, making a mirror for what had gone before. Until then they are sealed, chambered in matter, the floor above them altars, the caves above them hollowed. Night writing. Cave walls hold shadows deep in their ridges, the leavings of daylight. The folds of flowstone and drapery rock, reminders of sea and sand. In darkness you see your breath, made visible by cold, cloud of lungwork adrift. To disperse it, you try a word. Your clear vowels resound and are returned in chapel tones. Unmoored by blackness, you reach for bearings, trail the contours of fern spines, the sog of moss clumps. You find the bold quill of a hawk feather, wind tumbled to a cinder pool. You trace the hard pellets of rabbit and sheep, reading their paths in early braille.